This episode is brought to you by Starry. When you drink Starry Lemon Lime Soda, every sip is a win. Perfect for game time or anytime. It's a crisp, refreshing lemon lime soda that's caffeine-free and bursting with flavor that makes you go, ah. Starry hits different. Find it in stores or online today.
1, 2, 3, 4. Those are numbers. But you already knew that. If you want to know what number you're going to pay each month for your car, use Kelly Blue Book My Wallet on Auto Trader. They're really good at numbers. Auto Trader.
All right, and welcome to another Friday's episode of Unequal Sequel. This is our... Rich, this is what kind of episode is this?
Extra!
There you go.
You didn't give me a pause. I was waiting for the pause.
I'm trying to catch you out. This is Unequal Sequel Extra. This is our bonus episodes we do on Fridays, where we either do a review or we talk something about sequel related.
Yeah.
I can see little Rich's face. So, Rich, tell them what we're going to do today.
I'm really excited. Today we're recording this. The new trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife has landed.
Yes.
I'm very excited. Oh, I'm very excited. So we're going to talk about a trailer, which is something we've not done before.
So it's either going to be brilliant or rubbish.
Yeah.
So let's see how this goes.
I really hope it's the first one. I would say, if you haven't seen the trailer yet, go and watch the trailer now, because there will be spoilers in this episode. Only spoilers for the trailer, not for the movie. Go and watch the trailer now.
If there are any spoilers, it's just going to be us guessing what might happen in the movie.
Yeah.
And if we're right or wrong, it's not our fault.
It's not a spoiler, it's a guess.
Yes. Now we've got that settled. We're going to do it as a breakdown, so we're kind of do it as like a shot-by-shot run through, I guess.
Yay! That's always nice, right?
That makes perfect sense. So, Rich, it opens a town view. I think it's Somerville,
Somerville, I thought.
Somerville, let's say that.
It's on a water tower, and you get some of
yeah,
and you don't get the rest of it.
So we know we're not in New York City anymore.
No, I think, somewhere Midwest, maybe?
Yeah. Are you concerned about that? Because the city itself is quite a character in the first two.
No, I like it. I like the idea of a small town being taken over by ghosts. I have this idea that it's a bit like... I've got a feeling it's a bit like Hot Fuzz, and actually all the townsfolk are Gozer worshippers. You know, potentially it's kind of a bit of a creepy town. That's why... We haven't said it yet, but that's why the person who's moved there has moved there.
Yeah. I hadn't even thought about that, the whole town in on it.
I mean, not the whole town, but I think a lot of the town.
Is this your theory, or
this is my theory? This is not definitely happening. I'm just going, oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. I hadn't even thought about that.
I mean, it would equally be fun if there's just happens to be a hellhole opens up in the middle of this town. That would equally be fun. But if it's a whole town of Gozer worshippers, Hot Fuzz style, the Wicker Man kind of style, and all the kids move there, and these two kids move there, and then they suss it out, and they end up being the heroes. Yeah, that would be amazing.
We move on, and we're introduced to two characters, which is Trevor and Phoebe, which is played by Finn Wolfhard, which is probably still the best name in the entertainment industry.
Oh yeah, absolutely
amazing. And the character Phoebe by McKenna Grace.
Yes. So Finn Wolfhard you'll know from Stranger Things, and McKenna Grace you will know from The Handmaid's Tale, if you've watched that, or she's young Sheldon.
Oh.
So yeah, she's a very good young actress.
Nice.
But also we see Carrie Coon quite early in there as well.
Yeah, they're all driving in a car.
Who's their mum.
And they've just moved, and you hear Paul Rudd's voiceover as well.
Well, I think it's Paul Rudd and Carrie talking, and Callie talking, isn't it?
Is that mum's name? Yes.
Yeah, the mum's name's Callie, yeah.
I'm so excited that Paul Rudd's in a Ghostbusters movie.
Oh, God, yes. I am very much looking forward to this.
I'm a big Paul Rudd fan. I'm one of those people that thinks even bad films, Paul Rudd is still a highlight. I just enjoy watching the man work.
I'm very excited about this. I should say that both Trevor and Phoebe bear a striking resemblance to Egon.
Teaser.
Which I think we can say without...
Yeah, no,
too much.
that comes up in a minute in the trailer, so
Yeah,
that's totally
they
fine.
are his grandkids.
Grandkids,
basically.
Egon's grandkids.
I'm not sure if Callie is Egon's daughter or if she is Egon's son's wife, potentially.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hang on, let's see what the next
it-
part plays out. So they're at a diner.
Yeah.
Carrie is worried, or what's her name? Callie.
Callie, yeah.
I mean, I like how they changed 2 letters.
Well, yeah.
One.
I mean, her real name is Carrie.
Yeah.
Sorry. The actress's name is Carrie, and her character name is Callie. So that is confusing.
Yeah, so there's a bit of foreshadowing now because she wishes that the Phoebe character could cause a little bit more trouble and be a little bit more, have a bit more fun.
She's quite nerdy.
And Paul Rudd says, well, there's still time.
And as they say that, there's a nice shot of Phoebe finding a puzzle in the floor and sort of like a slidey kind of block puzzle and sliding the blocks around and opening it up to reveal the Goosebump time.
Yeah, the first Goosebump time, I think.
A trap. Basically takes out that iconic black and yellow striped trap, ghost trap. And you're like, yes, it's Ghostbusters. Yes, I'm so excited.
It's the first teaser that it's actually linked to the original first 2 movies.
Yeah.
Because it's the original trap as well. It's not like...
It's not a newfangled one.
Oh, it's very exciting. I like the trap in the floor kind of thing. And it shows that she's clever because she solved the puzzle that probably only her and her grandfather could do.
And so it turns out that the reason they've moved to this house that has the trap in the floor is that they're broke.
Yeah.
And that their grandfather has passed away. So that's Egon. So we know that Egon has passed away, has left them this house, this very creepy looking, dilapidated old house in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. On purpose or, mysteriously on purpose, do you reckon?
I don't know. Yeah, potentially, because we know Egon was a very clever man. So yeah, potentially.
We also get to the glimpse just before that, them at this mine shaft. Trevor, Finn, they turn...
Mine shaft or a well?
I think it's a mine shaft because there's one of the lifts that go down. So I'm not quite sure if that's a...
Yeah, good point.
So it looks like someone's been digging at some point in the past.
Potentially Egon, yeah.
Because maybe I think he had that the stuff happening there that he was, researching.
He's obviously there for a reason, I think.
Yeah,
isn't he?
and we haven't found out how long ago he died either. Somerville, you're right. It says it in the trailer. Someone says Somerville.
Somerville it is then.
Somerville. And then we see a picture of the original 4 Ghostbusters.
We do. That's nice. A nice black and white shot of the original 4 Ghostbusters.
Showing that it was a long time ago, which makes me feel old.
It does make me, makes me feel very old.
We've got another tidbit that, this is all leading to... Oh my God, it's so exciting.
We get introduced to another classic character at this point too. So we see Janine.
Oh my God, yes.
So
Annie Potts,
I'm guessing. So I think either Janine and Egon got married and potentially divorced.
Right.
Janine is Callie's mum, or potentially Callie's husband's mum, former partner's mum. Something. I don't know. I'm guessing the grandma to the kids.
Maybe. There is a bit later
potential.
when Callie says, is this all we've been left? And it's like, she's like angry about it. It feels like she wasn't close to her father.
I don't know.
Did you get that?
Yeah, potentially. But I think Janine sort of says, "Oh, your father had." Oh no, did she say your father? I don't know. I can't remember. So he had trouble just keeping the lights on, kind of thing. Like as in he was brilliant, but he was also useless at everything else.
She says, your father wasn't much of a homemaker.
Ah, there you go. So it is Callie's father.
Yeah.
So maybe they're estranged for some reason.
He could barely keep the power on, and then the lights start shaking.
So maybe Callie and Egon were estranged. Maybe maybe they didn't really know each other, potentially.
It does feel that way. Your father was a Ghostbusters. Wouldn't you remember it? They saved the world, or at least New York, twice.
I've got a feeling that maybe Callie doesn't find out that Egon's even her dad until he's already dead, potentially.
Potentially.
And left her this house. Because the kids don't seem to know him, do they?
No, you're 100% right on that one, I would say so.
Interesting.
Callie says something about leaving them nothing, and then Annie Potts, Janine, says, well, I don't think he left you nothing.
No, yeah, a bit more than that.
The music, the music starts stirring.
And then you see one of the kids lifting a tarpaulin off of a car. And of course, it's Ecto-1.
It is Ecto-1, yeah.
Oh, it's Ecto flipping 1. Oh, I'm excited.
Original Ecto-1. You went with a station wagon? That was my American accent.
It's the only one with an engine.
So Trevor is some kind of engineer or good with fixing things.
Good with stuff, yeah, which was you would ring true to a grandson of Egon, I guess.
Yeah, and it shows it might come in useful later on in the films when stuff needs to be fixed and stuff. Shots of them driving Ecto-1 round a cornfield or
a cornfield, which is cool. And then is that when there's a big moody shot with lightning and stuff?
And then the town goes very dark, yes.
A nice shot of some like dark skies and lightning and forebodingness.
Finn asks what is happening here, and then I think this is where Paul Rudd does a little bit more explaining that there's lots of shaking and it's not on a fault line of any earthquakes or anything.
Sounds creepy. And then Phoebe says, maybe it's the apocalypse. Oh, maybe it is the apocalypse. Because that's what Gozer wanted to bring about, right? In the first one.
I think you're getting ahead of yourself here, aren't you? Because you're convinced this has got something to do with Gozer and Zool, right?
Yeah, I do.
It's shaken on a daily basis. We cut back and they're looking down the mine again.
Yeah.
And this is when the trailer starts.
This time there's a big load of shiny light coming out of the mine.
And the trailer starts ramping up a bit. The music's building.
Yeah.
Finn's looking concerned with some other kids.
Something comes out of the mine, isn't it? Yeah. That's like, well, I mean...
It's orange. So first there's the orange thing that comes out. We haven't got, I would say, a ghost first. And then it's the apocalypse line. And then apparently it's coming out this Thanksgiving, which... Then after that we got another shot of Ecto-1 driving along and someone, Phoebe as well, saying Egon came out here for a reason. This is when we think, oh, this is not just any old town. And then we get the voice of Ray and the original Ghostbusters advert from the first Ghostbusters when it was just Ray, Venkman and Egon.
Kids are watching it on YouTube.
So that gives you even more feels in the pants.
Oh, yes.
Right, this is when I really have to start looking at these shots. And there's just some shots of people looking concerned for a while.
Okay.
It's also got the mini Marshmallow Man.
Yeah, the next important bit, Paul Rudd in the supermarket.
Yeah.
And loads of little mini Marshmallow Men.
Have you seen that clip before?
Doing amazing things. No, we've not. We've seen a little mini Marshmallow Man in the first trailer, but we haven't seen them doing all the stuff. So there's one with like a pen through his head, and there's another one that's on a s'more, and they're trying to. The other Marshmallow Men are trying to melt him with a like a blowtorch thing to make a s'more.
Oh, they're delicious. Do you again? Is this for more foreshadowing, foreboding for Zool and Gozer for you?
Yeah, I think so. It's got a very strong vibe with the original, a really strong vibe with the first Ghostbusters movie.
Yes, because why else would you have like the Marshmallow Man? Would you, if it wasn't somehow? It's like a nod to the fans of the film as well, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely not to the fans, but I think it's not just the nods that feel like the original, like the shots, the grading, the colours that they use, those kind of purples and oranges that the original uses a lot.
Yeah,
all of that stuff kind of harks back to the original, and it feels like Ivan Reitman has clearly gone for that. Not Ivan Reitman, is it? It's Jason Reitman, sorry. Has clearly gone for that aesthetic and wants to link the movies together in that way, which potentially the 2016 movie didn't have.
Yeah.
It didn't have that aesthetic. And yeah, so what's
the next shot is that when they seem to be in some kind of temple, and I have to admit, it does look like Zool. And then in front of them, there's some other like statues, I think, of what look like they're worshipping her. And it looks like a she. So again, and this looks like it's at the bottom of the mine because the characters are standing in front of the mine shaft lift thing and they've got torches on. So this is where the breakdown gets interesting because I can actually... And these people seem to be reaching up to whatever the main statue is. Like I said, it does look like Zool from the original Ghostbusters.
Gozer from the original.
No, doesn't Zool?
Zool's the one that looks like a dog. Gozer is the one that looks like a woman.
I thought the pterodogs were the dogs.
No, they are pterodogs. That's what they are.
Right.
But their names are Zool and Vince.
Oh, right. Okay. Cool. Well, it looks Gozer then.
So Vince Clortho is the keymaster and Zool is the gatekeeper.
Right. So
and then Gozer is the bad.
Dana Barrett
the
was
big
Zool.
bad. Yeah, Dana Barrett was Zool. There is no Dana, only Zool. Remember?
Yeah.
And then she touches the thing, and Dana collapses, and then Zool turns into the hellhound dog thing.
And Rick Moranis, well, he was the other one. He was Vin.
Yeah, he was the Keymaster, and again turns into the dog.
I think I'm slowly coming away around with your thinking of this trailer, which I think is also going to make Sean Walsh very excited.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually, when Sean Walsh talked about his ideal sequel, he mentioned something very much along these lines.
Very interesting, I thought.
That, the town is lots of Gozer worshippers and they all come back and, down that kind of...
And then even the next shot, which seems to be above a mountain cliffside of a big mountain, kind of like Close Encounters, and there's a big cloudy, magical... My descriptive words are rubbish, by the way. But it does, again, looks like it's on top of the building that was surrounding that building in Ghostbusters. Man, I'm getting excited. And there's lightning. Oh, that's foreshadowing. Finn says, "Can you hear that?" And it sounds like one of the dogs. And then there's a light coming from the mine down below somewhere. And then something's coming. And that's the bit where you were talking about earlier, when it looks like there's a human form coming out of the hole in front of the statue, which I haven't paused at before. This is very exciting for me.
Right.
Oh my God.
This episode is brought to you by Tinder. Cuffing season is in full effect, which makes Tinder the place to be right now. There's a new wave of folks coming back to the app ready to find love, fun, or just a new friend. And if you're worried about never meeting up with your matches IRL, don't be. 1.5 million Tinder users go on dates in person every week. Explore all of the possibilities for yourself. Tinder. It starts with a swipe. Download Tinder today.
And the town...
Do we think that could be potentially...
Yeah, and the town's
Gozer
cracking, and there's
back?
the ghost streams. I don't know what the words are because I'm not an expert. Going around the town. Yeah. There's a Walking Dead. There's a man serving a dead man in a coffee shop, which is very Ghostbusters. There's like a batty thing that's scaring someone. Now you get to talk to you about your shot of Paul Rudd.
Of Paul Rudd running outside a Walmart, and then something smashes out of it, and you realise it's only either Gozer or Vin's. I'm not sure which. Vin's Clortho. It's one of the like hellhound pterodogs, isn't it? And the pterodog is chasing him in exactly the same sort of way as it chases Lewis in the original Ghostbusters, Rick Moranis. So my feeling is potentially Paul Rudd could end up being the Keymaster. That's my feeling.
If it's not the same thing, then they've run out of ideas.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would say there's a whole thing about the gatekeeper's a woman and the Keymaster's a man.
Yes, you're right.
That kind of thing, isn't it? So I don't know. I've just got a feeling Paul Rudd is going to end up being the Keymaster. And then we got the cool sequence that you also love of in Ecto 1 and Finn driving it and the girl. Before that, the most beautiful sound in the world is Ecto 1's siren. And as soon as that starts, I'm like, I'm back there. I'm there.
You're 10 years old again.
Ghostbusters. Yeah, big time. I might even be younger than 10 years old.
It is so good. It does give you all the feels, this trailer. Even in the background, I don't know if you've seen it, when this shot, there's a Stay Puft poster. So that made me smile.
Nice.
I
love that.
Anyway.
That's awesome.
So they're hunting a ghost at this point. This is the first shots we get of them actually doing some ghost
so there's a really cool shot of Phoebe hanging out the side of Ecto 1 with a proton
which you didn't see in the original films, but you could kind of do in the toys, couldn't you? Something like that?
Yeah, you could, definitely. Well, the toys were based on the cartoon rather than the film, weren't they? So the toys were based on the cartoon. I'm pretty sure in the cartoon that happened, like one of them popped out the side, and I'm sure in the toy of Ecto 1 that happened.
Always at the top.
Yeah.
So really cool. And the Ecto 1, and it drops its little drone remote control car thing.
A remote control car with a trap on it. Oh, it's beautiful.
I mean, even design, like the design of Ecto 1 is iconic, and it looks so good here. Now, is that Slimer they have chasing?
I don't know. It doesn't. It sort of looks like Slimer, but then it doesn't. I don't think we see. It looks blue.
Yeah, it looks like
green,
a cheap knockoff.
It doesn't quite look as
deadly honest here.
Yeah, I don't think it's Slimer. I just think it's another generic ghost potentially.
But again,
Slimer will be
yeah.
in this. I'm 99% sure Slimer will be in this movie.
I hope so. The trap's very cool.
The trap is so cool. I'm really excited about the trap. I'm just really excited about this whole movie.
And then the words Ghostbusters comes up, Afterlife.
Oh, I can tell you where Somerville is. It's in Oklahoma.
It's a real place.
Because no, it's not. But I don't know. It might be. But I've got a still shot at the moment of XO1 with Phoebe hanging out the side shooting the proton pack, and behind them is United States Post Office, Somerville, Oklahoma.
You won't get this on any other podcast, I'll tell you.
So there you go.
Right. So then we cut to the Ghostbusters word in, which is cool, and the music's still cool. And then it cuts to a classroom, because I think Paul Rudd's meant to be a teacher.
Yeah, that would make sense. Because his character's called Mr. Gruberson.
Ah, then yes, that would point to that.
So,
there's the Phoebe girl, him, and someone called Logan Kim as Podcast. So I'm guessing the character's actually called Podcast.
Yeah, so there's a few kids in this. So there's Podcast, Lucky, Elton, Thickneck, Swayze. I think they're all nicknames. So there must be some sort of gang, I reckon. Like in a kind of potentially kind of Goonies kind of way.
Yeah. And then it seems like either they're watching the same Ghostbusters ad that they were watching in bed earlier.
Yeah.
Rudd looks very confused, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he looks pretty confused throughout this trailer, to be honest. Every shot of him is him going, huh? There's a really cool shot of him holding the trap and looking like, what's this?
And then the Ghostbusters on YouTube say, we're ready to believe you. I'm going to try. How many hits has this had? Oh, I can't zoom in. Only like 86,000 or something. And then the number comes up. 5552368. I wonder if that's a real number.
I think that's from the original, isn't it? It won't be a real number because it's 555. So all Hollywood movies start with 555 because it's not a real area code.
I learned so much, Rich.
Do you not know that?
No.
That's like movie lore.
To be honest, I don't really care. It's not something that really worries me at night. So that's there. Awesome. And that's when you cut to the most exciting part of the trailer.
Oh yes. A red old school telephone is ringing.
But even before that, you can see that in the window the occult book sign.
Yes, yeah.
We all know who works there.
We all know it has an occult bookshop, don't we?
Because we've seen it in Ghostbusters 2, not 1. It's 2, isn't it?
It's 2, yeah.
And then, like you said, it zooms in on the phone, ringing.
A hand picks up the phone, and Dan Aykroyd's voice says...
Oh, sorry.
I was waiting for you, Dave. I thought you were going to fill it in.
He says, we're closed. And that's all you hear is Dan Aykroyd's voice. So that, again, please don't just be like tagged in on the end. I want them to be in it at least.
I think they're going to be in it. So
how much do you think they're going to be in it?
I 99.9% think they're going to be in it.
No, I believe they're going to be in it.
Ghostbusters in suits with proton packs shooting ghosts. And I will tell you why. Because today Hasbro released the figures for this movie, or shots of the figures of this movie, and it includes a grey-haired Venkman, a slightly chubby grey-haired Dan Aykroyd, Ray, and a very pissed-off looking Winston, all in suits with proton packs. Winston also is now a doctor, so he's now Dr. Winston Sedmore, which he wasn't in the original two. So maybe he's gone back to university and got his doctorate.
That's quite funny because there was a running joke in the previous ones that he was the only not doctor, to be honest. Now he's
according to IMDb, his character name is Dr. Winston Zedmore. According to the Hasbro toys, all three of them in Ghostbuster suits with proton packs on, as well as like some of the kids in suits with proton packs too.
Do you reckon 10 minutes at the end, or are we going to get more of that?
I think probably the last 20 minutes potentially. I don't think they'll be in this movie till the end. You're right, and it'll be kind of the kids convincing them to come back and save the world with them.
I can't see how I can see how they're getting Ray back, but just Ray call up the others and be like, hey, shit's going down in Somerville.
I don't know, but I'm really excited to find out.
And how does Dana fit back in it? She's in the cast.
Dana is in the cast, yeah.
Just a cameo, or
maybe her and Venkman are married, or at least still
I reckon
together.
they're divorced. Surely divorced.
Oh yeah, they're probably divorced, aren't they? But yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I'm really excited to find out. I think it's a very exciting trailer. And can it be November now, please? Basically, is all I want to know. My son the other day, out of the blue, just said, "Can we watch Ghostbusters, please?"
Yes.
So
that was a good day.
He's going to be quite excited for this. He's already seen Ghostbusters and really, really loved it, the original. I don't think he's seen Ghostbusters 2 yet, so we'll have to watch that. But he does enjoy Ghostbusters, so hopefully he'll be up for watching this movie.
Are you going to let him watch the trailer?
Yeah, it might get him too excited. But yeah, I'll let him watch it. It'll be all right.
As a trailer, it's proper good though, isn't it?
It's a really good trailer. It is a really good trailer. It gives you just enough, as you can tell, from us to make some predictions, and then but doesn't give you too much that it's really going to spoil anything too much. Just makes you very excited. There's a really kind of Stranger Thingsy vibe, and it's not just because there's one of the actors from Stranger Things is in it. But it's got that kind of like kids in peril kind of vibe, I think. Adventurous kids in peril that Stranger Things has. It's got the look of the original, like I've said. It just feels very authentic. And
it's got that tone that, no offense to the 2016 one film, I haven't seen that whole film with this, obviously, but that was a comedy. And like Sean said, Ghostbusters wasn't completely a comedy, was it? It was a sci-fi film that had kind of like funny
and that's
elements.
Right. And I don't want to trash the 2016 one because I actually don't hate it. I think it's all right. Like I say, if it wasn't Ghostbusters, if they'd done it as like an alien movie, beating up aliens or something, then everyone would rave about it, about what a funny movie it was, and how great the cast are. I think it didn't quite work as Ghostbusters because there is so much of that canon and that feel that got ignored. But also, I just don't think it was scary enough. The 2016 one, it just wasn't scary enough. There wasn't enough jeopardy in it. This trailer already feels like it's gonna be a bit scary. It's gonna be jeopardy in it. It's not all out balls to the wall laughs. It will be funny in places too, but I think this at its heart is going to be a proper adventure movie that happens to be a little bit funny, rather than a comedy that happens to have a little bit of ghost busting in it.
Oh, tingles.
And so I'm very excited. Do you know what? If none of the stuff I've predicted comes true, I still think it's going to be a good movie.
Just a last few words of saying thank you for listening to our podcasts. Because I think if you listen to these podcasts, you're listening to our other podcasts. These are like the bonus ones for I want to say hardcore fans, but that makes us sound like idiots to the listeners.
It's just because we really like doing the other ones, but we just really like talking about movies as well. So that's why we do these extra ones. We just have the opportunity to talk about sequels a bit more. And we hope you enjoy that. If you don't, then just listen to the other ones. Just listen to the Monday ones. You don't have to listen to these extras. It's not a concurrent series. You can just listen to ones you want to listen to.
The Monday ones are our TED Talks, and these are like the chat around the water cooler with your mates, kind of.
Get all Americanized.
We have American listeners now, I believe. So
wow, that is
well.
Nice.
That's what it tells me on the internet.
We're properly international.
Yeah, we've got some Brazilian, 1% Brazilian.
Oh, excellent.
So, thanks for listening, though. There will be an episode out on Monday, which will be the second part of our Sequelizers special with Tim.
Yeah, that'll be a good one as well. If you're properly into your movies and you want some in-depthness, then
especially
that's a really
comic
good
book
one.
Movies this time. It's great on comic books. Well, as you were saying the other day, I love that how every episode's different.
Yes.
Of our podcast so far, and it carries on that way, to be honest.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Good. You will find us on the internet and all your podcasting platforms. We're on Twitter and Instagram, and that's all I've got to say. Rich, got anything else to say?
No, I just want it to be November already.
Yes, please.
Please.
We can't wait for Ghostbusters Afterlife. And if anyone from Sony's listening, can we please come to the press screening or an advanced screening? Or
yes, please.
Get us on the junket.
Oh, yes. Oh, that would be so good.
Please, Sony. If you say it out in the world, apparently it's meant to happen.
Ask the universe, and the universe will deliver. Universe, get Sony on the phone for us. Cheers.
Please. Yeah. And on that note, it's a thank you from me.
Thank you from me. Goodbye.
See you next time.